Today I'm going to be talking about The Rules of the Road by Joan Bauer. One of the main characters of this book is Jenna Bowler, a 16-year-old girl who sells shoes at the Gladstone shoe store in Chicago, Illinois. Jenna lives with her mother and sister in Chicago, and her father is an alcoholic who pays her unwanted visits from time to time. Jenna struggles with family problems and wishes she could run away from it sometimes. One day, Madeline Gladstone, the owner of the Gladstone Shoe Company, asked Jenna to drive her to all of her store locations throughout the Midwest and the South. This is the perfect opportunity for the 16-year-old to leave her problems behind. Throughout this long road trip, Jenna and Mrs. Gladstone become good friends and learn many new things. I believe that one of the main themes of this novel is doing the right thing even when it is difficult. Jenna does this by protecting her younger sister from their alcoholic dad and by taking care of things around the house when her mom is busy. She does this by encouraging Mrs. Gladstone to continue to fight for the quality of her company instead of just letting her son take over and ruin the company's legacy. Jenna's mother does this by letting Jenna leave with Mrs. Gladstone for the summer. Jenna consistently visits with her grandmother in the nursing home, even though it is hard for her to see the negative effect Alzheimer's has had on her grandma. Jenna Bowler is one of the main characters of The Rules of the Road. She is 16 years old, 5'11", and she has brown eyes and red hair. She doesn't have a lot of friends, except for her coworker Murray and her best friend Opal. She loves to sell shoes, and she's really good at it. She's greatly impacted by her father's alcoholism and is always protecting her sister Faith from being hurt by it too. Jenna's skill of being able to sell anybody anything helps her at work, and her knowledge of shoes helps her observe how well all of the other Gladstone shoe stores are doing. She is very observant. Madeline Gladstone is another main character of The Rules of the Road. She is 74 years old, and her husband, who she started the Gladstone Shoe Company with, passed away a few years ago. She's a very successful businesswoman. Mrs. Gladstone is a tough, stubborn woman. Don't let her rough exterior fool you, though, because deep down she has a big heart. She cares a lot about certain people and definitely about her and her husband's company. Her son plans to take over the company, but he doesn't care about its long-standing legacy, which is the importance of quality and good customer service. He's only in it for the money. Mrs. Gladstone won't go down without a fight. She demands that her company's legacy is not ruined. Analysis of the plot. Exposition. Mrs. Gladstone asks Jenna to drive her around to all of the Gladstone shoe stores in order to see how well they are all doing. Jenna takes her up on her offer in order to catch a break from her struggles with her alcoholic father and all of her other responsibilities at home. Rising action. As Jenna and Mrs. Gladstone visit all of the stores, they realize that many of the stores are beginning to take a turn for the worst. The shoes are becoming lower quality, and the employees are not well educated on shoes, and the customer service is poor, except for in Dallas, Texas, at the store that Harry Bender, longtime friend of Mrs. Gladstone, is in charge of. Eldon keeps trying to meet with his mother in order to manipulate her into letting him take over the company. Another important detail is that Mrs. Gladstone buys Jenna 50 shares in Gladstone's company stocks. Climax. The Gladstone Shoe Company stocks meeting. Eldon tries to stop Jenna from entering the stocks meeting by telling her that she was fired, but Jenna knows this is a lie. And luckily she was able to get in anyway. Mrs. Gladstone gave a speech about how she was retiring, but Jenna was not having it. She gave her own speech about the importance of the quality of the company. Stockholders voted that the company should merge with the shoe warehouse. But Mrs. Gladstone would still be in charge of the quality control of the company. Falling action. Jenna and Mrs. Gladstone drive from Dallas, Texas back to Chicago, Illinois. Jenna gets her first car and picks her grandma up for a picnic. She reunites with her mother and sister. Solution. Jenna expresses her feelings about her dad's alcoholism to him. Overall, I really enjoyed reading The Rules of the Road. All of the characters were unique and interesting. Jenna and Mrs. Gladstone's personality made for a great bond. The plot was perfect. Jenna and Mrs. Gladstone's determination to stop Eldon from ruining the company made for a great and happy ending. I also love the author's writing style. The first person point of view really puts you into Jenna's shoes and it draws you into the book. If you like stories with interesting characters and perfect plots, this book is for you.